We don't care. We just don't care. Goodness me, what a fantastic experience that was. I'd actually been out doing some early sunrise landscape photography. Next thing, she's pointing, and I can see her doing if you remember from one of our last vlogs, you know, it was an otter. So I'm looking out on the loch, nothing. Next thing, she shouts, "Land!" And I turned around, and it's the female and a cub, and it comes no more than 5 foot away, to the point where I can actually hear it, like sniffing, really sniffing. Now I had the wide angle on, so there was no photography we had. Didn't have my iPhone with me, so it come up really, really close, really, really close, and then Nicola came down, and then it just went away. So we were like, oh wow. And next thing we see another one. It's the other cub.
We'd actually thought she'd maybe lost a cub.
She had lost a cub.
And
this other cub is proper yelping for its mum. It's
really
like
loud.
really perturbed. So we kind of sort of hunker down, hoping that the mother's going to come back. And after about 5 minutes of the cub really sort of, yelping, we see the mother, and she is going hammer and tongs.
She's literally doing a Usain Bolt to get back. It's amazing.
Just sort of overlay some dramatic BBC wildlife
Chariots
music,
of Fire or something.
Oh, it's fantastic, and they all got together. They all got together. They all had a proper rollabout and a proper sniff.
They look really happy, and I know you shouldn't amorphisize, but they did. They look really happy.
And then they swam off, and we thought, right, that's the perfect opportunity for us to take our leave and let that little family get back together again. What an experience.
I think just hearing the sniffing and then the yelping and just seeing the whole thing, dropping things,
stunning,
brilliant. Even better than when we'd seen them a couple of months ago when we were last here playing in the water.
The whole experience of it, just wow. And we were the only people here.
Yeah. And I wanted to cry when they got back together. It was so lovely.
Well, this sucks. No other way to put it.
I've been crying my eyes out.
We have just booked our ferry off Mull tomorrow, and our ferry from Scotland back to Ireland on Thursday. So we were planning on heading back next Thursday. But again, my stupid work getting in the way, and a bit of weather, I guess. But yeah, we've just decided to kind of cut it short by about 10 days or so.
I sulked for a bit.
But I think, to be honest, irrespective of when we had pulled the plug, we both would have been feeling like this. I can't say the next 48 hours are going to be a lot of fun. We've been on the road for, just 10 days short of 3 months. And while it hasn't all been a bed of roses, it's certainly been fantastic. Just so many different experiences for sure, and I'm sure we'll follow this trip up with a vlog from home, talking about kind of what we would do differently and what our next plans are. But yeah, it's been fantastic, and it's reaffirmed, if I really needed it, my love of the western side of Scotland, the Western Highlands and the islands. I would move to this area, maybe not Mull, but certainly this area, in a heartbeat. Not a problem whatsoever. And while where we live, the north coast of Ireland, is beautiful, it's not Scotland. A couple of hours left of daylight today. We're just trying to sort of see the whitetails.
Sea eagle up there somewhere, round about there.
And then we're going to go around and park at our little spot that hopefully tomorrow morning will give us some final views of the otters.
Which will be even harder to say goodbye to.
Yeah. We've had some really good views of the otters. So.
Yeah.
Beautiful morning.
It's meant to rain today, which is partly why we booked to leave the island.
I think it is going to rain in the afternoon.
I know that's really mean, but I hope so, because I don't want to leave and it's
all
beautiful.
The poor people who rain.
I know, I'm selfish.
Yeah,
don't, because you'll make me cry again.
I don't want to leave at all, but as we said yesterday, some pretty big decisions to be made, and I think we need to go home and start making those big decisions.
It's tough. I think once you get a taste of what being able to do this feels like, even though, you know, we've said time and time again, your problems don't go away, there's just something different about this lifestyle that you just can't find when you're permanently in a base. See, look, you're
I think we've already decided what our sort of long-term plan is, but I think there's going to be some big calls to be made over the next couple of months to bring that to fruition. But back at the ferry terminal. However, what phenomenal views we had this morning. So some cracking views of whitetails first and foremost. We came back to the van, grabbed a little bit of breakfast, then went back out again. And 3 otters, the mother and the 2 cubs, with the whitetails circling above them. Guess it's time to hit the road. And we'll catch up from somewhere on mainland Scotland, where I don't think we'll get to see white-tailed eagles and otters.
No, don't think so.
See you in a bit. So as we face our final morning in the van for now, a picture of what it's been like for the last 3 months, pretty much every morning. Now, about 20 seconds ago, that head was not there. Guinness's, Nicholas. No, not Nicholas. But the minute you start rattling a dish, the head literally pops out like some sort of arcade game.
Especially a dish with milk in.
Yeah. We actually stayed in Carnryan Ferryport last night. We were a little bit later getting down, and for those of you who have driven that road sort of from Ayr down to Stranraer and Carnryan, you know that it's a pretty gnarly road, not many pull-in places, and obviously loads of big articulated lorries doing to and from the port. So we were getting a bit, where are we going to stay? And then Nicola happened to say, well, why don't we ask, because we'd come down to the port and we were going to turn around and go back up to Little Lay-by there, we'd seen. And Nicola said, well, why don't we go in and ask whether we can stay here? It was like, okay then. And they were like, yep, not a problem whatsoever, free, stay in, toilets open all night. So bonus little thing there. Plus the P&O ferry, which is what we're on, is not only half an hour shorter than the Stena Line one, but it was also about 40 quid cheaper. So 120 quid, not too bad at all for...
Plus they would have got us on an earlier one.
They would have. I actually went to the loo this morning about 6:15, and actually about 6:30, and they said we can probably get you on the 7:30. And I thought, getting home early versus coming back to the van and waking Nicola up from a state of slumber, we'll take the 10:30 boat. We're good. And I know there's probably people that are going, oh, your cat's drinking out of your football that you had. We don't care. We just don't care.
I think it's more dependent on the cat. Whereas Guinness has had it for years and never had an upset stomach, so just be careful if you're going to give your cat human milk. For those people that worry.
Not human milk, by the way. That's just weird. Alright guys, so that's that. 3 months, or very close to 3 months, in the van, and we are just about to board the ferry. No point labouring it that we're not exactly best pleased to be going back. You can probably tell by our face. And as I said, we have some pretty big decisions to be made, and obviously we'll keep you guys informed of what those decisions are. But it's been well, you've seen.
Mixed. I mean, the places we've been and the things we've seen have been amazing, really amazing. The journey mentally, really tough. Physically not too bad. No. Actually.
This one here, given how she was that very first night about 8 months ago in Newcastle County Down car park, first night in the van.
I can't do it. I can't
tears.
do it.
There has been zero. Yes, there's been a few occasions where we've both needed a bit of, I just need to go out of here and stretch myself. But absolutely fantastic. No issues whatsoever with the whole, travelling in a van.
I think the emotional travelling has been a lot harder. No answers really yet, to be honest. I think the answers hopefully will come once we're back and we realise we can't be stationary, hopefully.
I think we already know the answer, what we want to be doing over the next couple of years. I think you guys probably do too. It's just making that final
final break, I
that
think.
final break.
Certainly for me, I have a lot of attachment to things still, and I love my shopping and my little pretty girly things, and it's not like I need them, I don't, but they've been my kind of quick fixes when, you know, mentally things have been tough, but they're not fixes, and it's just coming to finally let that go, I think, for me.
I mean, I'm not sure I can't remember whether we recorded it or not. This one here, both of us had moments, separately, both of us had moments on this trip where we felt
Free.
They're two separate locations.
Mine was in Torridon. I'd just been for a run. The sun was out in the mountains. It was reasonably mild. I had my music on. And I hadn't felt happiness like that in, I can't even remember, years. Certainly, I think before my dad died.
And mine was on the Isle of Harris, where I just felt free. I think free is the only word that you can use. So, given the fact that this journey so far has brought us those two moments,
Albeit temporary.
Yeah.
But it shows they're there.
Yeah.
And they can be worked upon.
so more to come. But as always, I hope you have enjoyed watching our 3 months, or close to 3 months in the van. For those of you looking for polished B-roll and bikini-clad coconut supping, come on. This is always supposed. See what I mean? This is always supposed to be the real side of van life, and I don't even like calling it van life because it's
life.
It's life. So this is always going to be as real as possible. Yeah, from time to time when we're in epic locations, we'll try to kind of record something. I obviously haven't used the drone as much as I'll have wanted to sort of show you some of the places, but we really want to show you the reality of what we're trying to achieve here, because I think Nicola said this in Let's Have a Chat video. I think that's if we can show people what we're going through, and hopefully some measure of improvement on this journey, if that can help one person, great stuff.
I'm sorry if some of it's been heavy going, I guess.
Yeah.
But that is real life for a lot of people, and like Nigel says, if even one person can relate and not feel they're the only person in that situation and that there's nothing that can be done, you know, I know it's really corny, but there's a song that I love, can't even remember who it's by, a rappy type song, and it says everything will change as long as you give it a chance to. And in my darkest moments, I sometimes put that on, and however desperate I feel at that moment, I just think, yeah, just give it a chance and things can change, and hopefully will change. I'm getting all emotional again.
Right.
And I wasn't going to be heavy. I'm like, sorry for the heavy moments, but
So
you have to cling on to some of these things, you know. And it may be a corny song, but moments like that have helped me.
hopefully the artist isn't watching this going, you calling my song corny? Yo. Right.
Thank you. I'll find out who it is and I'll let you know.
Right, given the fact that she's got both of her hands in her pockets and I'm changing hands to hold onto the camera while my diddle
It's pretty cold.
is freezing,
But
we
what a
are-
day.
we are going to go check in, get on the ferry, go home.
Cry our eyes out and book our next trip,
Not our next trip.
our next bit of our life.
Yeah.
I must stop saying trip.
It's not trip, it's life. Right, guys, and of course it's goodbye from Fathead in there, but there's no chance of her coming out. Not on this. She's like,
There's
nah.
no milk, there's no food, there's
No.
nothing of any interest to get
So
us.
yeah, she's in there. She has survived, which is unheard of, approaching her 19th year.
Yes. She did have a little bit of an upset tummy yesterday, which wasn't the best.
And this is like just 2 seconds after she has just recorded a little bit about milk. She's never had an upset stomach.
In 3 months she hadn't, so
Yeah.
it was a one-off.
Cool.
So,
Right, guys, we really hope you've enjoyed our journey. We'll obviously keep you informed going forward. And I guess we'll catch up again soon. But for me, goodbye.
see you later.
Bye-bye.